am my story. You are your story. When we embrace our stories, we get a glimpse into the lives of others. We better understand ourselves and the world at large. Welcome to the Chronicle Spot, a curated podcast of extraordinary stories of remarkable people around the globe. From the world's famous to the most ordinary person, I believe there is no story too big or too small to be shared. Each episode is a story. I hope you find one that inspires, refreshes, entertains, educates, or encourages you in a beautiful way. I am Ayooluniyi, your host. Sit back, relax, and enjoy a world of extraordinary stories. Hello, welcome and welcome back to the Chronicle Spot, where I share remarkable stories of people, places, and things. This is your host and chronicler, Ayooluniyi, and I am so glad to be here as always. This episode, I would say, is in celebration of my guest. It's in celebration of his book titled Architect of the Future, and this episode is actually named after it. My guest today is a creative, is a designer, is a creative director, is an author, a software engineer, I guess, and many more. Hello, Adeyemi. I don't want to keep our audience waiting. So, welcome to the Chronicle Spot. And how are you doing?
Yeah, hello, good evening. I'm fine.
Finally, we we are making this happen. There has been so much back and forth,
Yeah. I'm
Yeah, thank
actually
you.
grateful. I'm happy.
Thank you. I think you are bringing the exact energy needed for this show, for this episode.
Yeah,
So,
yes,
thank you for that.
the energy
Thank
is
you.
high. Yeah.
Thank you so much for honoring the show. Before we dive any further, I would like to ask you, like I always like to ask anyone who comes on the show, what is your story?
Okay. Okay. Let me just start. My name is Adetoyinbo Adeyemi, and I was born in Lagos. And growing up, I grew up among creative people. I mean, my mother was a fashion designer, so I grew up among people that design, that do things with their hands, that bring things
Interesting.
to life. Yeah. So I was actually raised by a single mom, so I spent a lot of time seeing how she brings to life her creations. So growing up, I also started delving into the creative part. I started loving to do things and create things and write, talk about my story, talking about anything I feel interested in. So so I went to when I finished secondary school. I did my BA in philosophy in University of Lagos, and then after that, during the course of my studies, I was running a brand that I was doing because I was also a designer. I was doing graphics, websites, so I was running that alongside. So when I finished school, I started doing that also. I also wrote the book in Unilag. I was in year 2 when I started writing the book. So so I started running the brand, and when I finished, the normal how Nigeria is like before you get a job, like the usual job palaver. The problem was not that I was not getting jobs. It was just that some of the jobs I they do not really fit into what I was trying to build. Yeah. So when I was in 300 level, I got a job at a marketing agency in Ogba, and it's a very big brand, and we were able to like work with big brands like Dark Communications, Opera News. Like we were able to work with those people. So it's not as if getting the job was the problem. It was just that during the course of working with them, I was not able to focus on the things I actually love, like bringing my own thoughts and ideas and everything to life. So that was why when I finished school, I started running my brand, trying to build it up. So that was basically the story. So it has not been easy, but I've been trying to like moving from one stage to another. That's how I've been doing it. So after running my brand for a while, I now want to like add some other skill because I can see the future, and I believe that tech is a very important part of it. So I wanted to understand the business of tech. So that's why I just recently moved into tech, so that I'll be able to bring everything together and come up with mind blowing like international and global creations. So that's just basically the story.
That's so beautiful, and it totally shows that it's been a long way coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and yeah, I have so many questions right now, so many questions coming to my head, but um, with your experiences, how you grew up watching your mom bring things to life, how you have been able to set up businesses, even from your undergraduate days. How would you define being an architect of the future?
Okay, so I believe so. A lot of people have been asking me that question. So when they see my
Mm.
book, they just assume, some of them assume that it's for architects, like people that draw blueprints, and for construction buildings and
For houses and all. Yeah.
construction projects like bridges, houses, theaters, and all of those things.
Mm.
Yes, it's like an analogy. I got like it's like an analogy. So I believe architects of the future are people that actually like draw blueprints and watch like the process, see through the process to like the realization of something. So when I say architects of the future are people that that bring like they have a vision. They have a vision for the future. They believe that okay, Nigeria can be better, or Africa can be better, or the world can be better, and they put they put things into process, and they see to it that those plans come to life. So, and when I was writing it, I the people I focused on mostly are people in the creative field, because people in the creative fields like the software engineers, the writers, the the designers, all of these people, they have an understanding of the past, and they have a projection towards the future. Like they believe that things could be better. You get, so they bring these things to life. They have the passion, and not only the passion, they have the skill set
Mm.
and the doggedness to bring these things to life. So that's what separates them from the other part of the people, the victims of the future. So the victims of the future are people that just like ride with the times, and it's not as if they don't have a vision for the future, or they can't see that how nimble the world is, or how everything keeps changing. It's not that they don't see it, but sometimes these things, there are a lot of things that draw them back, including some like bad policies by people that actually have to be the architects of the future. when you have a president that's making policies that's dragging people back, so these people are the victims of the future. So in that aspect, so everything works together. When you have a company and you don't have the vision to put the company, like to take the company to the next level, like a lot of people suffer, your clients, your workers, they suffer. So victims of the future are the opposite. So the main purpose, the reason I wrote that book was to build the mindset, the right mindset in people, so that people can actually know their place, whether they are victims of the future, and can re-strategize and reposition themselves, and they can see the gameplay of these things. A lot of people, let's take an example of what's happening in Nigeria right now. Like we have a lot of people wanted Peter Obi, and eventually this guy Tinubu won the election. So there's a lawsuit in
Your
process, and
president elect is this guy. So you should have some respect.
our president elect. Okay, yes, it's
That's
actually
better.
our president elect. So some people, a lot of youth wanted Peter Obi. I don't want to go political, but when you are these are conversations we cannot avoid, because our future is at stake right now. So there's a lawsuit in like going on right now, and I do not see anything that's going to happen to that. So this man is already the future, the president elect, and in few weeks is going to be the president of Nigeria. So whatever happens, like whoever happens to go there, to be there, when you have the mindset of an architect of the future, you a lot of these things don't really affect you like the way they are going to affect other people, you get. Because in civilized societies, the government have things they do for the people, but the major changes in every country, in the country, are done by normal citizens. They are done by normal citizens. The major changes, the businessmen, the creators, the people that change lives, a lot of these things, it is normal people with skill set that make these things happen. So when you are an architect of the future, you just have this aura in you that you call the shots in whatever capacity you find yourself in. So that's the whole purpose of this book. And the book was written in three parts. I wrote one part was for the past, then one for the present, and the other part is for the future. So in the past, I touched history, because I believe that like for you to actually make real change, you have to know where we are coming from, how deep in the whole Africa actually is. So you have to understand that. Then I also touched the present. I touched the present. In the present, I spoke about the education. I spoke about technology. I spoke about the current state of like crime and corruption, and how it is spoiling our rep in the global community. So the future is actually where I did the building of the mindset, the seeing of the opportunities, the creation of the opportunities that make people actual architects of the future. So I think that's everything about the book.
Interesting. Thank you so much for shedding light. I mean, it's hard not to be inspired just by the title of the book. But then I
Yeah.
have not read it, and then I have lots of questions, and I am grateful that you have answered some of them, because you have just described your book and who is it for. Now,
Yeah,
I know that your work or yourself, you seem to be driven by this desire to make a positive change, to make a positive impact on society and Africa especially. I'd like to
yeah.
ask you, what is your vision for the future of Africa?
Okay, yeah. So I have a couple of visions for Africa.
Okay.
Um, yeah. So I'm going to start with the educational aspect, the education especially, because now okay, let me just tell you a little story. I did all of my schooling in Lagos, university, everything in Lagos, and the tech school I currently attend. It's not that I cannot travel abroad to do it, but I have a business in Nigeria, and I have a lot of things I want to do in Nigeria. And this thing I'm doing right now, I should have done it like, let's say, 5 or 7 years ago. Like this software engineering that I'm just doing. The name of the school is Semicolon Africa, and we pay close to like 4.3 million right now for the course. So it's like if I want to go and do it abroad, I'll go abroad, and it's about that one is going to cost about $11,000. That's more than let's even say 7 million or so. It's even more than that. When I calculated the money in naira, I know that I'll be earning in dollars there, but when I calculated the money in naira, yeah, it's not something I can afford as soon as possible. So where am I driving at? The the educational standard in Nigeria is poor, and that's just it. So, and I've also seen a pattern in most of the leaders we have. They have degrees abroad, University of Birmingham, University of this and that. So those things give them rep. Those things give them rep. But I'm looking at a vision for Africa where people from other part of the world will come to African countries to come and study. You get? So for that to happen, the standard of education we have to be top notch to be the best. We cannot afford to do mediocre. You get? So that's just it.
Mm.
So that's just part of it. Most of these things they are teaching us in this school, they are teaching us design thinking, they are teaching us software engineering and data science, deep deep things that we even our CEO is even an American. She's an American. She's not an African. So we are looking at this very standard and robust, like qual I don't know if you are getting me, like substance.
Totally got you.
Yes, substance. It's not even about the cheapness of the education. It's about the substance and the quality that people are
The
getting.
quality. Exactly.
Yeah, because some of these things they are teaching us here, we have computer science students that they did not touch it in school. So the quality of education is dying. It's dying all over the world, but in Africa it is worse. It is worse. And we know that we have graduates. The only people doing well are the professionals, like people in the professional field, like medicine, law. Those are the people doing quite well because that one is different and it's hands-on practical. So I'm looking at a practical approach, and it doesn't have to be very far into the future. It has to be something that can be achievable in like 15 years, 5 years, 4 years, 7 years. So when the quality of education is good, the quality of creations, innovation, research is going to go deeper. And when the quality of research is deeper, you know, it will be easier to invent. Because right now we have a problem of copycats. Like, we do not have original ideas, but when the education is robust, people will be able to make deep research and come up with innovative things that are going to propel Africa forward. So those are my visions. That's my vision for Africa in the educational aspect. So my vision for Africa in when it comes to infrastructure development, especially human development, is also different. Like, it's different because I'm looking at a culture that's proud of itself, a culture that can go anywhere and will not be judged or something like that. Racism,
Mm.
we know there might still be racism in some part, but like a community of people that are proud to go anywhere because of what they have in their head and what they can actually do. Africans are
Yeah,
very talented people, great people.
yeah,
Africans are
we
very,
are.
yeah. So I'm looking at a culture that you can go anywhere in the world and just, chip in your language, and people will not, make faces or do anyhow to you. They are going to treat you with respect because you guys are people that are doing great things, like Israel, like Singapore. So all
Right,
of this,
right. I just
yeah,
want to
all
weigh
of
in
these things,
something on that. Okay, you could continue, please.
yeah. So all of these things, especially these aspects, require a cultural change. I'm not talking about the total cultural change. We have to keep our culture because that's our originality, that's our identity. But we also have to like shed off some beliefs, like some things that are holding us back. So it's a lot of work, and even me, I'm still going through like my growth process. So I'm adding all of these things so that I can be able to help. I can be able to like bring out like my ideas and come out and actualize the dreams I have for Africa. So, and a lot more.
These are lofty ones, and they are not just lofty. I think they are achievable and they will be
Yeah,
achieved.
yeah, they are
I just want
achievable.
to weigh in some. I just want to weigh in something on what you said about limiting beliefs. I read somewhere, or maybe I watched the video. I really can't remember who the speaker was, but the person who was talking about this copycat mentality that is rampant in Nigeria or Africa at large. And you would see
Yeah,
people setting up businesses, let's say in an area, and sadly, what Miss A is selling is what Miss D would be selling. It's very, very rare for you to find different business ideas booming in
yeah,
a certain place. They are always doing the same thing. And you now mentioned something. The speaker, he or she mentioned that the reason why we have this copycat mentality in Nigeria and Africa is because generally people are afraid to fail. So they'd rather
yeah,
copy the business beside them and compete rather than invent something or go with another idea. We all have to be masterminds, we all have to be architect, and you seem to be on that part. Um I just want to ask you, how is design, how is technology playing a role in achieving the visions you have for Africa?
okay, okay. So let me just iterate on what you just said a little about that copycat thing. So
Okay.
I don't think it's the fear of failure that's making people to copy. I think it's mental laziness.
Mm.
Maybe fear of failure is part of it, but I feel majority of it is the fear of the majority of it is mental laziness. So and I believe that when you don't have mental laziness, you will try to make more research and to be able to stand out, because you have to stand out. So when okay, I'm actually working on another book, so I'm just going to hint you on the topic. I have a barrister friend writing on the legal aspect of it. So the title is Copycat Economy. So so
Thing.
this copying
I didn't
thing
even
is
know
something
about
that
that.
people, yes, this thing is what I'm actually interested in. I
Mm,
understand how the copycat economy works, like
mm,
to an extent, because that's China economy is a copycat economy, is a lot of copycat
right.
economy, but they also have an aspect that's so deep rooted in R&D, like research and
Research
development.
and
So they
development. Yes, yes, yes.
yes, they invest so much in it. So they have for years now they have been copying like all these big computers that can do trillions of calculations in seconds. So like they've been doing it, and recently United States stopped them. They are like semiconductor microprocessor companies like Intel to they stop them from supplying China. So China now are faced with creating their own tools, their own solutions. So they have to build that thing for that machine, machine to be able to compete with USA. So now the purpose of that is that when you have an economy that is so deep rooted in like borrowing ideas, you don't have your own things, you borrow parts, you buy parts, you borrow parts from this one, you borrow parts from that one. An economy that is not self-sufficient, like, is going to, like, the people that are supplying you can just decide to not supply you for whatever reason. Maybe they don't want you to compete with them, so they just stop supplying you. That means you have to stay on the same point, like stagnant, for a couple of time. And if you don't have the technology, the skill set to factor in, like, to create that thing, you will be there for a long time. So that's the role, like, technology is playing in Africa. So for us to be regarded as part of the to be regarded and respected, we have to, like, be able to create things, be able to compete out there, you know, create things, compete out there. When other countries are going on the moon, you to send your people to the moon. When people are creating mega computers, like high performing computers, you to create one for yourself. When people are creating cars, create cars that can work in Africa. So be self-sufficient. So when that's the real technology. Technology is just like the how to do things, like the actualization of how to do this. We can't survive on the long run with just theory and, reading and doing like white collar jobs that are not problem solving enough. So we are looking at a country that's technology driven, that can create solutions for themselves, and not just things like not just creating applications, not just creating websites. We're talking about products that work. So that's the role technology is playing. So now, what I've done with this conversation is I've moved from the aspect of the copycat economy, the copying, and people that are mentally lazy to just, okay, they just want to do this, do that, do that. But we are looking at culture, a culture, and that goes into our school system. Instead of it being theoretical, let people make mistakes. Instead of it being okay, copy, like read to pass, let people
Mhm.
let it be practical, so that people are comfortable with failure. You get, when they are comfortable with failure, they are proud of themselves. Like when they do things, when they
Get
achieve
back
things,
up.
when they come up. Yes, so it builds the confidence to create, to build, because that's the only way. Creativity and solution, providing of solution, is the only way Africa can be respected out there, and you know be respected. You have to create solutions, create jobs, create things, create. That's the problem with a lot of our leaders. They're not creative. So when you are creative, you create things, you create. So that's a lot of that's the thing. You have to have vision and be able to create. So that's why I wrote that first one out of frustration, like of the university system. It was so frustrating. You get, so I was studying a course that was purely theoretical, and I wanted to try my hand on things. I was frustrated throughout. So we need a cultural, a system, an educational system try that push people to try their hands on things. So that's just it. That's just it. So when you have a culture that people are comfortable with trying their hands on things, technology comes in, and with technology, you can create solutions that's going to help the rest of the world. You can create applications, you can create products, you can create machines, you can create AR tools, augmented reality tools. You can innovate something that people have not even ever heard of. Like most of these things we are talking about have existed somewhere in the US, in Germany. We're talking about when we go deep into our core, into deep knowledge. We are talking about creating things that's going to wow the world. And the process through which we can go there, I'm not going to like totally banish the copycat economy. So for now, that we don't have a lot of money to spend on R&D, we can still you know copy things, and you have to copy them well. So there was this book I read, Still Like an Artist. So like
I
when
was
you are
going to mention
stealing,
that.
yeah, when you are stealing, you have to steal perfectly, like steal with your own originality. So a lot of problem is that people don't even know how to copy in this Nigeria. So when they copy things, they just copy and paste as plagiarism. Get inspiration from things, see patterns, see patterns and debug. There's this thing we call debugging in programming. Debug it, like scatter everything down like this and look at all the components and fix them back in a different way. So yeah.
You have been so profound. I mean, I totally love your words and how you have been able to, tell how technology is playing a role. Like, it's been so profound. Thank you. Um, Enjoying this conversation so far. But I just want to ask you one or two questions before we wrap things up. And that would be, um, now, the creative economy, especially in Nigeria, is booming.
Mm.
What do you think is
Yes.
the biggest challenge right now? I mean, we are the giant of Africa. What do you think is the biggest challenge? And how can we play architects? How can we work towards a better future despite the challenges? We know how things are in Nigeria. Let's not talk about
Mm.
let's talk about it actually. Let's talk about it. So how can we play architect?
So okay, yeah, you said it all. The creative economy is booming. Yeah, we have designers earning money that like times five of times two, times three, times four, times five of the minimum wage in Nigeria. We have artists, we have people that sing, we have you know programmers, a lot of these people, and we have these people that are even like making money in dollars in foreign currencies. So they are working from this Nigeria. They are working with people all over the world. So I believe the creative economy is doing very well, and there is an untapped potential, a really big untapped potential, because a lot of what we are still doing is still like is still inside the copycat economy. Because I
Or
know that a
surface
lot of
level.
people, yeah. So a lot of Nigerians are very good at what they do. They are very good at what they do, but they have tools. They have tools that they use. They have places that they get inspiration from. They have things that have been created in the West. These tools that have been created in the West that they use. So, and it's really a nice step forward, because this is the next thing that's going to propel people to go into the core, like, and be innovative, inventive, to start trends that are going to be accepted by the world. And I know part of it, the major force in trends is Afrobeat. I know that one is Afrobeat, and a lot of Western people want to feature our people. They want to talk to our people. They want to sing with our people. So it's really a nice step. But we need these things. We need this. We need to copy what's actually happening in the music industry. We need to copy it in Africa's music industry. We need to copy it and replicate it in sports, in African sports. We need to pour money into it. We need to take this thing and pour it into businesses, into ideas. One of my teacher, the person that takes me industrial design, is a car designer, and he's schooled in UK. His name is Mr. Dakpo Abiodun also. So he design cars, and he has a prototype now. So why not create cars in Nigeria here? Why not build our own cars? Like cars that are built for Africa, you know, cost friendly, like eco friendly, you know, used using our own materials. It's going to be cheaper, it's going to be more durable. So we are looking at copying all of these things and replicating them, like the thing that's happening in the music industry. We are looking at bringing it here and taking our works global, so the only way we can get visibility is like creating these problems, these things, our writers writing books that people in the UK want to read, people people from other places want to read, people like Chimamanda. We have writers like Chimamanda. I'm sorry that
Yeah.
it looks as if I'm beating around the bush, but these are some
No,
of the
you're not.
things we need to see. These are some of the things we need to see to be able to like go to the next stage. Some of the industries are doing well, and I've mentioned just a few. Being an author in the world today is not as like financially rewarding. I know how much I've spent on publishing my book, and how much I've earned from it. But I believe that some of these works we are doing it for posterity's sake. So we are doing it for posterity's sake, for the future. So now I'm looking at something that has to do with, I'm looking at people actually putting in the work and doing things that and blowing minds. That's just my vision for for the creative economy. Blowing minds. When people see your work, when they see how you package it, it's global standard. It's not people don't just look at it and say this is an African thing. Like you have to like be fluid enough, because we are in a global world now. We are in globalization era. You have to be fluid enough to be able to like absorb everybody, all inclusive. You have to create things that everybody wants to vibe to. So that's the main core. That's the core of being a genius. Like something that a lot of people want to vibe with. So that's just it. That's just it. That's what I believe. I believe that the creative economy is doing well and that we can do better. Some industries are doing well, but other industries are lagging. They are lagging a lot. Like I just mentioned a few. Maybe the innovation aspect of Africans. It's really lagging, and it's crazy that we have to import everything, from air conditioners to everything. We import everything, and I'm not saying that we should start copying this thing, but if we can, and we should. If you can copy, if you can make air conditioners in Nigeria, we should make it. But the problem is that you will see someone calling himself a manufacturer now, and then you will see them importing parts, air conditioner parts. They will just come and compile it here. They will come and package it here in Nigeria. There's no way we can make real progress or real money from that. We have to do everything in Nigeria if we really want to grow. So there was this person that he spoke, he did a demo of his products. So it's, let me not say so that you know we live in a copycat economy. So he demoed like his product, and the thing he did was that I now asked him about, okay, how is this going to happen? This product that you said you are going to be putting at the side of gas cookers, where is it going to be made? Is this safe? So you need to ask these questions as a designer, as a creative thinker, as a as an industrial thinker. So you need to factor in all these things: the cost, where is it going to be made, how is it going to be made, is it going to be cheaper when you import it, is it going to be safer? So all of those things, the technical know-how and all of these things. So bottom line is that all creatives should do a better job, and they should always think about Africa. They should always think about Africa. I don't know. I just feel like I'm just so passionate about this continent, and I believe in it so much. And I believe that we can't continue to outsource everything that we do. We need to be original. That's all.
Talking about originality now, are there times you felt like you were not original enough? And I would like to replace the word original with creative. Like, were there times that you were feeling like you were not original enough, creative enough, you know? Times
Okay.
when you were feeling like you're not fulfilling the role of an architect.
Okay. Okay. I can talk about that. So now I'm a designer. I'm a graphic designer. I
Yes.
design, I brand people, I brand companies, I do all of these things. And that feeling comes with you like frequently, especially when you are designing something. Maybe you are designing a banner, maybe you are designing a billboard that's going to be on the road, and you have you are designing it for maybe like Malta Guinness, and they sent you their files, their logo files. So they sent you their logo files, their colors, and these things. It's not, you were not the one that created them. They've done it before. They just sent it to you to use in the poster you are designing for them. So there are times that you have to feel like you are not original enough. Like, just allow creative people to take their flowers. And I think that's one thing that's most important as a creative.
Mm.
So a lot of people, in a bid to feel creative, they steal things, they claim things that's not their own. They don't give credit. So I think in my book, one part of it, I told people where I got that name from, Architects of the Future. It's not something that I just came up with. So the thing is that when I wanted to write the book, I knew what I wanted. I knew I wanted to write it for the future. I knew I wanted to write it for this particular set of people. So I came up with a lot of names. Came up with about 30 names. So I came up with about 30 names, and builders of the future, Kinecon of the future, a lot of them like that. So I I was coming to school. I went to my mom. I went to my mom's house. It was during school, and I went to my mom's house. And when I was coming back to school, because I love to read books that are not philosophy. So books that build the way I think. So I now saw this Robert Kiyosaki's book, Second Chance. So I started reading it. I think I finished it in 3 days. So it was there. It was in that book I saw this man. He was an architect. His name is Buckminster Fuller, and he did not really call it architects of the future. He just said we are architects of the future and not its victims. You get, that was how he put it. Say
Could
we
you
are
please repeat
architects of
that?
the we are architects. Okay, we are
Yeah.
called to be architects of the future and not its victims.
Mm.
So yeah, I think I
Yeah.
wrote it in one part of my book. Yeah, it's very deep. It was very deep. So the thing with creativity is that when you need to know what you are doing. You need to know it deep down. You need to have you need to know
Mm.
what you are doing. So that's where the originality comes from.
Mm.
It's like um it's not something, like a lot of things are not new. A lot of things are not new. So everything is like in a loop. What you think you are doing, that somebody else have done it before. So you just need to refactor it and remodel it. So the true originality comes from how you do the work, how you put the work, how you give credit to the people that credit is due to. Because even because if you are not getting your originality, your ideas from deep research, you are getting it from analogy, like maybe a bird flying. You are getting your ideas from things. So like ideas don't just come out like that. You have to factor in. You have to pick things. Just look at Facebook, for instance. If you have seen this movie and the social network, the way it was created, they used people's lifestyle, like things in the society, people liking each other, people saying, I like this picture, things like that. They factor it into a social media app. So that's how innovation works. Innovation, I'm not talking about inventing right now. I'm not talking about like making new discoveries. So even discoveries are not just things. There are things that have existed that you don't discover. You get, so a lot of things
Yeah.
have already been in existence. They have already been, just like they said this person discovered, Mumbai discovered in the River Niger or whatever. River Niger have always been there. It has always been there. So someone just
But
came and discovered it and just gave it a name. Okay, like all of these things are there. But if you don't do the work, if you don't have a mindset, your originality, your own story, like your story, your principles, your visions, your ideas, to bring it to life. That's where the originality comes from. So imagine I just put it being like that. The way the man put it, we are architects of the future, and all this victim. So now it would not have made sense. The title of my book is Architect of the Future, the True Determiners of Tomorrow. So so it was done in the African context. We have a people in mind that we created that thing from. And those people have peculiar problems that are affecting them. So if I copied what he said, just said it like that, and I copied it, it's not going to work for the Africans. I'm an African. I was a student when I was writing it. So I understood the problems. I was seeing everything. So that's where the originality comes from. You as a person, your identity, your story, the things you are going through, all of these things make up what's going to make whatever you are creating original. So when you are building your company, you are building it with its own life and its own like ideas, visions, motive. You get, so
yeah.
that's what originality is all about. So it's not as if like I'm saying that okay, everything you are doing should be totally like yours. Everything cannot be totally yours. You get, so everything cannot. Okay, I think I mentioned earlier that I'm working on my next book, The Copycat Economy, and
Yes, you
my
did.
yes, my barista friend is working on the legal aspect of it. I did not go to a law school. I did not. So I'm working with someone else that understand that part. But the originality here is the fact that I know what I want to achieve. I know that okay, I want to write this thing for people, for the future, for people, so that they will know how to actually like, even if they want to like emulate things from people, maybe a business, because in the business world, the way the business world works, I can't blame people for copying, because when the market is booming, people are going to move into it. That's how business works. Let's say people like in this environment, people are selling, one person starts selling pure water and the person is making thousands of sale. Other people will want to come in and take their own share. So that's why there's market share, and that's why there's market share. So the market share, the person that makes the most market share is regarded as the market leader. Like the person, just like in the soft drink industry, Coca-Cola is the makes the most money than Pepsi. So that's how it is. So that's how it is in the real world. So people are going to like want to do what you are doing if you are successful at it. So
Right.
that's just a normal human phenomenon. So it's going to happen, but you have to be original. Imagine Coca-Cola, imagine Pepsi now did their own. They did it in red. They did their branding in red. They did it has the same taste. Pepsi does not taste in any way like Coca-Cola. So they have to taste different. So imagine they do it the same thing. People are not going to want to take Pepsi, because why should I take Pepsi when we already have Coca-Cola? So you have to be different. You have to be different. Some part of you have to be different. So that's just it. So that's what originality is all about, and that's why in everything branding is important. You have to brand, even your personal branding. You have to carve out your own identity, your originality. That's what originality is all about. It's not as if you just want to start a new industry. You want to start a new industry without doing feasibility reports or checking if this thing is going to succeed or whether it's going to fail. You are not doing your research. You're not doing all of these things, and all in the name of I want to be different. You're actually going to fail. So if you want to start a new path, you have to do your research, and you have to have the courage to follow it. But you have to do your research and see the success rate. And if you want to keep at it, that means you've seen that this is the right thing to do. You get, is it that you see that this is the right thing to do, or you're just going to it? But in business, it doesn't always work like that. People are in business to make money. So that's why sometimes it's just easier to copy. I hope
So
I've not
much good
confused everything up.
information. No, no,
Hmm?
no, 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 you have not. You have not. They actually are interconnected, and I'm so glad you talked about these things. I'm just
Yeah.
curious about one thing, and that will be my last question, or maybe almost last question. And that would be, since you began this journey, what has been the major drawback for you?
Okay. People. People have been the major drawback. Like, yeah, people.
Tway?
Okay, let me start with my book. The book was not the first thing I created. When I was in year one, going to year two, I started this brand that I started in school. Africans Create, because back then the movies Africans, Nigerians especially, were creating were trash. Our footballers, our sports people were trash. Around that time, 2016 or so, it was everything was trash. So all of those things were frustrating me, and I was in a school that they were teaching me about blah blah blah. They taught me creativity. So I was like, why are you teaching me creativity when this is the solution to a lot of these things? Then even these Africans buying from Africans, like now I buy my footwears from Africans. Like, I don't buy all those Gucci. I don't like my shoes branded. I don't like it. So I buy my shoes from Africans. I buy my clothes from Africans. So I I am Afrocentric to an extent. So all of these things were an issue back then. So when I said I have people problem, working with people, the brand would have gone a lot far. Like, I would have been bigger than this. But the people I was working with, sometimes you pour the idea into them and they don't catch it. And you try harder, but they have to make money. So, and then I discovered I have to make money. I discovered I have to make money. Then I started focusing on my brand, on my skill sets. Yeah, I discovered I have to also build skill and capacity. So I started myself on the journey. So I started building myself also. So when I wanted to author my book, I wrote my book. I had a friend. The friend was he's into writing. I have a friend. I still have the friend. So um he was supposed to he's into like editing books, editing all of these things. He writes, is a writer, or is a technical writer. So he he edits books. So I paid him to just edit it for me. I wanted to self-publish then. Just write it, finish. I just finished writing it. So he could go through it and work on it with me. I love working with people because I have this complex that my work is not good enough, even after putting in everything. So I have it in me. So I love working with people, getting people's insights. You know, working with people. I love working with people. So I gave him the book. I paid him money. I struggled to pay him money back then to edit it, just to read, just to proofread and edit the English. I think I paid him around 70k back then. He collected my money. He returned it to me the way I gave it to him, almost the same way. When I asked him that, bro, if I thought my was good enough, I would not be paying you for this thing. I would never pay you for this thing. Why did you do this? It's like I was angry with him. Then until I later gathered enough money, and I gathered enough money because I just gathered another money, like almost 400 to 500k, and I gave it to a proper publishing company, and they did everything. They proofread it, and then they did the branding, they did the cover design, they put it on Amazon. You can get it from anywhere in the world. Like you can get the hard copy set from US, so it has international distribution. That was my taste. That was what I wanted. So, and I was not satisfied. I knew what I wanted, so nobody was going to give me crap. So later on, yes, I did that, and yes, I found people that were willing to work on it, that were going to work on it, and they were going to do a good job for me, not just anything. So it was worth my money. Then last year again, this friend got back and started telling me stories, and I wanted to give him another second chance because I have another project I'm trying to work on. It's a technology project, and if it succeeds, it's going to be in supermarkets, and it's going to change how people buy things in Nigeria. It's something that has happened in other countries, but it's something I'm willing to bring in. I'm using augmented reality to make marketing easier, so that when you just enter into a supermarket, you don't have to queue a long time to know the cost of everything you are buying. As you are swiping, as you are taking things, you are swiping, is loading on your phone, and you are seeing how much it costs, you are seeing how to use it, and all of those things. So
Whoa,
I
that
needed
would be
someone
so
to create
helpful.
yeah. So I needed someone to do the whole thing for me. I needed someone to do the UI UX, and that's what he now does, and he's good. It's not that he's not good. Okay, bro,
Your,
how much should I pay? How
your
much should I
writer
pay for
friend
this
now
thing?
does UI UX.
Yes, he now does it. How much should I pay you?
I get it.
How much are you going to collect? Let's work. Yeah, let's work on this thing together. He said 300k. Okay, I gave him half of it. I should start work. It's up to a year now. He has not finished my work. So I think
What is happening?
people
I hope it's not
people
familiarity with you.
that's the last project I'm working with him on. So I that's why I love the place I am now, like this tech school that I am, semicolon. They are not only giving you the skill set, they are also building the capacity, the discipline. They are giving you the
Mm.
discipline to not waste people time. You can't be wasting people time. Imagine he has done the project last year. Production would be close to production now, pushing it out now. So when you don't have the people that can catch the vision, the dream, when you don't have them. Or maybe they can even catch it, but they can't put the work. They can't put in the work. It's crazy. That's part of the things that's dragging Africans back. It's not that Africans are not smart. A lot of this, I believe that when you just break even, it's going to be easier because you're going to have access to a lot more people. So I'm
Mm.
just focusing on the people part. Once the people part is solved and I have people that are built different, it's going to be easier. So that's the major challenge,
All
because
right.
to build anything, yeah, to be an actual architect of the future, you can't do it alone. You need people. You need to work with people that are professionals in their field and disciplined enough to deliver on time. You need people, because if you don't have people, you can't do what's top notch, what's standard, what's global standard alone. You can't. You have to work with people. You have to collaborate. So that's just the challenge. That's the major challenge I've gone through. But eventually, I always find my people, and eventually, I always know the problem. So that's it.
Hmm. That's a lot. I am so sorry about your experiences so far with people. And yes, we truly need people because to even create a more thriving economy, especially in Nigeria, people has to be involved. I mean, we
Yeah.
need each other. We need each other. And so we have come to the end of this
Yes.
episode. I hope you, listener, have been so inspired, educated by what we have been discussing so far. I hope this episode has been helpful. And we have just talked about being architect of the future. And in fact, that is the title of my guest's book. That is the title of Adeyemi's book. And we have shared a lot of things. We have shared how we could be all creatives even when we don't feel like it. And I think that is beautiful. He also shared a major drawback or major loss in all that he has been going through as a creative, and also his ongoing project, and so much more. And I am so happy that we are able to make this happen at DME. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so
Um,
much for having me. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. Before you
I
go,
really
I would like
appreciate
you
it.
to share any information you like to for people who are curious about your book, who would like to connect with you further. Please share at this point.
Yeah. Okay. I think my my Instagram and Twitter handle is the same thing. The Adeyemi at the Adeyemi. So I think we'll be able to connect there. So from there we can talk. I just want to talk to people. I want to meet people, actually, more people.
All right. We'll be
Yeah.
sharing more about yourself. I mean, your contact information also on the Instagram page of the podcast. So if you are listening right now, you can add on to the Instagram page of the podcast at the Chronicle Spot underscore. You can drop your comment in this comment section of the post that talks about this particular episode, and you'll find everything you need there. Remember that we are all called to be architects of the future and not victims of it. So I want you to give that a thought today. Take care of yourself and keep living, keep building. I love you. Bye.